What is good, everyone? Welcome to the PWD channel where we discuss professional wrestling. In today's video, I'm covering the May 26th, 2023 episode of Friday Night SmackDown. I'm going to go ahead and start straight off. There wasn't much to this episode, but the stuff that was prevalent, especially the Bloodline stuff, was freaking mind-blowingly amazing. As a whole, this show, this Friday Night SmackDown episode was completely average. It was completely average. Like, if it wasn't for this Bloodline stuff, it was completely missable. But the Bloodline stuff on the show tonight was insane. If you have not seen the show, watch it before you watch what I have to say about it. Please give it a watch, even if you have to go through YouTube and use their their highlights or whatever you have to do. Watch the show, or not watch the show, but watch the Bloodline segments, because they are incredible piece of television. Like, so amazing, just absolutely amazing. Again, I'm pretty much only going to talk about the Bloodline stuff here. I'll go ahead and say there was a decent match. Sheamus versus Austin 3 for the US title. Austin 3 ended up winning off a pretty deadly distraction. Basically, he got the roll up on Sheamus. So there was that. Other than that, this show really had nothing to it, but it did have the Bloodline. Also, AJ Styles beat Karrion Kross. That's all that there is to talk about outside of this. Let's get onto the Bloodline stuff, because the Bloodline stuff was the main event. So the show kicked off, and a couple of minutes into the show, I don't remember how long into the show it was, but at some point, all of the Bloodline is seen backstage. It's the same group that was there last week, and they're still in the same exact locker room area too. This entire show of SmackDown was pre-recorded, so this is all from last week as well. They were all still in the same locker room together. Of course, the Usos, Paul Heyman, Solo Sikoa and Roman Reigns all in the same room, and Roman Reigns is sitting down. He's like, Paul Heyman or wise man, why don't you tell the Usos the big news? And the Usos is like, or Paul Heyman's like, I'll do it, my tribal chief. Of course, he's so obedient towards Roman Reigns. And Heyman's like, the tribal chief is speaking to the Usos. Heyman is like, the tribal chief is very sorry that you won't be able to be there tomorrow night, referencing Night of Champions, which I will be reviewing on this channel, so subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But anyways, yeah, sorry about that. He's like, the tribal chief is sorry that you won't be there tomorrow night to see him win the titles and to see Solo Sikoa win the tag team championships. However, you are invited to next week's SmackDown, where we will do our tag team championship celebration. So you guys are invited next week, and the Usos are like, yeah, we'll be there and stuff. And Roman Reigns, he's excited. He's like, yeah, I can't wait for that. I can't wait for that. I can't wait for you two to be there, especially you, Jay. And you could just tell Roman Reigns is being such a douchebag, and he's being so sarcastic. Like, he's being such an asshole about it. He's like, especially you, Jay. I can't wait for you to be there. Why he was being such an asshole about it, I have no idea. But for whatever reason, this set Jimmy off. Not Jay Uso, the one who this was directed at. This set Jimmy off. Jimmy was like, because they were already mad as it was. They were already pretty upset to begin with. But Jimmy Uso was like, man, I don't know what your problem. He basically, I don't know what your problem is. I have the direct quote here. He's like, I don't know why you tripping anyways. And then Jimmy Uso gets up. He's like, man, like, I don't care, bro. I'm hungry. I'm gonna go find some food. I'm gonna go get something to eat right now. I don't care anymore. And that Jimmy Uso was mad about what Roman said towards his brother. After that, Roman's like, where are you going? Where are you going, Jimmy? Where are you going? Stay here. I didn't tell you could leave. Stay here, Jimmy. Stay here right now. And Jimmy Uso still wants to walk off. He's like, I just want to get some food. He doesn't say that, but you can tell he just wants to get some food. He's hungry. So he walks off, and he's about to go get food or whatever. And Roman's like, nah, I didn't tell you can leave. Get back here right now. And Jimmy Uso's there for a little bit. He's kind of he's facing straight forward. Roman's to his left, but he's facing straight forward. And he's like, I need you to sit down. I need you to sit down right now, because I did not tell you could leave. You listen to me. You do things on my terms. This is not you guys don't control yourselves. This is my thing. You do not own any part of yourselves, basically. And Roman's like, sit down, and Jimmy refuses to sit. He didn't listen. Jimmy was like, nah, I ain't doing all that. He didn't say that, but he refused to sit down. He was not having it at all. And then Roman Reigns got closer to him. Roman Reigns then stood up and got into Jimmy Uso's face, while Jimmy Uso was still facing straight forward. And Roman Reigns was on his side, and his face is like, you need to listen to what I'm telling you. I told you to sit down. You need to sit down. And he's trying to tell Jimmy to sit down, and Jimmy just turns towards him, and now they're staring at each other face to face, and Jimmy's getting mad, and Jimmy's not listening. He still doesn't care. He's not listening. At this point, I thought Jimmy was going to cower out and just sit down and finally listen to him, but he's not. He's not doing it. He's looking mad at Roman, and he's getting in Roman's face. They're like pretty close face to face. They're almost nose to nose in a way. And Jimmy Uso's mad, and he's looking mad. And this is so crazy coming from Jimmy, because usually we see this side from Jay. Jay's the guy who always has a little bit of a problem with Roman, just a little bit, especially lately. But last week we saw Solo have the problem with Roman, and this week we've seen now Jimmy is having the problem with Roman. So everybody's having the problem with Roman Reigns. But that's beside the point. Now he's like, once they're face to face, Roman's like, you sure do put on a tough guy face, but you won't do anything. And he keeps provoking him. He's like, do something. You won't. Do something. Come on, Jimmy, do something. Do something about it. And he's all in Jimmy's face, and he's mocking him and just provoking him a lot. He's like, you won't do shit. And Roman's like, ain't nothing changed. I whooped you when we were kids, and I'll whoop your ass right now too. And he's all in his face. And then Roman's also like, you gonna respect me. You gonna obey me. And you're going to acknowledge me, which was just it was a crazy line. You're going to obey me is a crazy line to say to another grown man. And then he's like, get out of my locker room. Just get out of my locker room. And Jimmy's not leaving. Jimmy's still face to face with Roman. He's not backing down. He doesn't look scared. He's just face to face with Roman, listening to what Roman has to say. And after Roman says get out, at some point, Jimmy's brother, Jey Uso, does get up. He's like, man, come on, let's just go. And he de-escalates the situation and gets both of them out of there. Both of the Usos leave Roman Reigns' locker room, and that was it for that segment. Later on in the night, though, we had the Kevin Owens show. Kevin Owens comes out. He says some stuff, and then he immediately calls out Roman Reigns and Solo SIKOA. They did not come out. Heyman comes out. Heyman's like, you must not remember how this show goes. You must not remember how SmackDown goes and how everything goes. You don't decide when Roman Reigns gets to come out. You don't get to call out Roman Reigns. The Tribal Chief gets to decide when the Tribal Chief wants to come out. The Tribal Chief decides what he wants to do on his own terms. And then he keeps going on and on about the Tribal Chief and whose music hits. Not Tribal Chief. Well, not the Tribal Chief that we've known so far, because the Usos' music hits. The Usos come out and they're hyped and they're angry. They're angry about what happened in the last couple of weeks between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. They immediately come out and the Usos, the first thing they say is like, Roman Reigns ain't your problem. We're the bigger threat here. So they're already claiming themselves to be a bigger threat than Roman Reigns. And this was Jimmy Uso specifically on the mic that specified that they are the bigger threat. And he's like, we're the bigger threat. We're the problems. We're here face to face with you. You need to worry about us. You don't need to worry about him. You need to worry about us, because we're the bigger threat and we're basically tired of y'all. And Kevin's like, man, like, I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm gonna just be straight up honest with y'all now. Kevin Owens goes on about how Sami Zayn has been telling Kevin Owens, like, behind closed doors and in secret for many months now. Sami Zayn keeps telling Kevin Owens, man, we need to help the Usos, man, we need to save the Usos, man, we need to help these guys out. They're being mistreated and we just need to help them. I feel like it's my responsibility to help them, blah blah blah. And this whole time Kevin Owens is like, he's been telling me this whole time and I just don't see it. I don't know what he sees in you guys, and I don't see it, but I'm gonna just tell it straight up now. Now that we're here face to face, I'm gonna just be 100% honest with you. Sami Zayn has been right about everything the whole entire time. How Roman Reigns treats you, how you deserve better, etc. He just goes on about how Roman Reigns treats the Usos like trash, and Sami Zayn is right. You guys need to do better for yourselves. And he even says, like, Roman Reigns can call himself the head of the table, but what I see right here in front of me is you guys. You guys are the heart of the table, and he just uses you. You're the heart of the bloodline, but he literally just uses you, which was an amazing line as well, and it was crazy. And yeah, it goes there, and it's like, how does it feel from being the best tag team of all time to basically being Roman Reigns' bitches? And that made Jimmy snap. Jimmy snapped and he's like, man, you think we're not the best anymore? Blah blah blah. And he's going off about how we're the best tag team in the world still, and all this stuff. And he's like, at the end of his little tantrum and his little rant, he's like, as far as I'm concerned, Jimmy Uso, I'm the Tribal Chief. And Jey Uso holds up his one. Jey Uso acknowledges Jimmy Uso is the Tribal Chief, and I'm just like, what? Jimmy Uso literally said, I'm the Tribal Chief. I was like, what? Like, that just blew my mind. It was crazy to hear Jimmy Uso proclaim himself the new Tribal Chief and just completely diss Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns' music immediately hits though. He walks down to the ring faster than I've ever seen him walk down to the ring since he's turned heel. He's mad. You could just tell his facial reactions, his expressions. He looks pissed off. He immediately gets into Jey Uso's face, and then after that he slaps the mic out of Jey Uso's hands. Then he gets into Jimmy Uso's hands, or face and hands really. The guy who proclaimed himself as the new tribal chief. He slaps the mic out of Jimmy Uso's hands, and he's all in Jimmy's face like he's about to kick Jimmy's ass. And Sammy stops him. He's like, hey Roman, you know it's over, right? Everything's over. The bloodline is collapsing, and it's all your fault. After that, Sami Zayn or Roman Reigns gets out of Jimmy Uso's face. Then he gets into Sami Zayn's face, and he slaps the mic out of Sami Zayn's hand, and he's all in Sami Zayn's face. But Kevin Owens is on the side, and he's like, he didn't say this, but his facial reactions, you could just tell he's like, you shouldn't have done that. Man, Roman, you shouldn't have done that. I didn't want to go here. Then he hits the stunner on Roman Reigns, which was badass as hell. And then after that, the Usos versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn happens again. Those two are brawling. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn gets the better of the Usos, but Solo SIKOA comes out, hits the spike onto both Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. So both of them are out. Roman Reigns gets in the ring then after being hit with the stunner. He recovers, he gets back in the ring, and he is freaking pissed. He is screaming, he's yelling. And then they start beating down on Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn together. Solo and SIKOA and Roman Reigns start beating down on Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. They get the better of the two, and yeah, it was just awesome. It was an awesome segment, honestly, like a freaking amazing segment. The Bloodline ended up posing at the end. All of them get back into the ring. The Bloodline ended up posing. Well, first, before that happens, actually, Jey Uso grabs two of the tag team titles, and Jimmy Uso grabs the other two. Jey Uso immediately presents the tag team titles to Solo SIKOA, and then Jimmy Uso is holding the tag team titles, and he's just staring at them for a while. And because the tag team titles have already been presented to Solo SIKOA, Roman Reigns is sitting there. He's like, all right, when are you going to give me my titles now? When are you going to hand the titles to me, Jimmy? And he's looking at Jimmy, staring at him. Jimmy's just looking down at the titles, just holding them, and it's like he doesn't want to let them go. And Roman gets in his face, and the mic doesn't catch what he's saying, but he's talking to Jimmy, and you can only assume he's saying like, give me the titles, like I'm gonna be the champion tomorrow, give me the titles right now, I don't know why you're holding on to the titles, give me the titles. And he's trying to get the titles from Jimmy, and Jimmy's just staring at them and looking at Roman, and he's like, I ain't doing this, basically. And then he backs off a little bit, and then Jey Uso comes, and he's like, man, come on, bro, just give him the titles. And Jey Uso tries to take the titles from Jimmy so he can give them to Roman, and Jimmy refuses to let them go. Jey tries to grab them, but Jimmy's like, nah, I'm not letting go of these titles. Jimmy talks him out of it, though. He eventually gets him to let go of the titles. Jey ends up passing the titles to Roman, so Roman and Solo SIKOA both have all four of the tag team titles now. And then the show ends with the Bloodline posing, but Jimmy Uso is not involved at all in the pose. It is just Jey. It is Roman and Solo up front, Paul Heyman in the back, all holding their ones. Jey is also holding the ones, but he looks to his rear left, where Jimmy Uso is sitting in the corner, and he's not holding his ones at all. He's not even acknowledging Roman Reigns or the Bloodline at all. And Jay's like, come on, bro, like come hold your ones up and stuff like that. And Jey Uso keeps trying to get him. He's like, what are you doing, bro? Come on. And Jimmy's just refusing. And the show goes off air. Jimmy Uso never held his one. And what an incredible segment. More incredible Bloodline storyline. It was just amazing. Like from start to finish, it was fantastic. Some of the best Bloodline segments I've seen in a long time. It was absolutely incredible. I loved it. I had so much fun watching all of this, and yeah, I'm done talking about it though. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys thought about it, and let me know what you thought about SmackDown overall. It was a pre-tape show. It definitely felt very filler heavy. It wasn't really anything too crazy outside of the Bloodline stuff. Like I said, I mentioned the important stuff. A lot of piped in crowd noises. Michael Cole did a lot of soundboarding on commentary today too, because I guess they pre-recorded his audio and his commentary and just kind of edited in the show periodically here and there. It sounded really bad. Overall though, it was a solid show. I would give it a 4 out of 5 just because of the Bloodline stuff. Honestly, the Bloodline stuff was so freaking good that it took the show from like a 2.5 up to a 4. fantastic stuff. I really enjoyed watching SmackDown tonight. But I'm going to go ahead and end this video there, guys. Hope you guys did enjoy it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because we will be doing, or I will be doing, my Night of Champions review come tomorrow. I'll be watching the show and immediately doing my review and letting you guys know what I thought about the whole entire Night of Champions pay-per-view. So I'll be doing that, and then I'll be back on Monday night for the Monday Night Raw review as well. So go ahead and tune into that. But with that being said, leave a like if you did enjoy this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Love you all.